And here we have our next voice of impact in this current series of powerful presentations from our exhibitors, those leaders and experts that we have here at the Meet the Authors Live Global Virtual Expo. We have Helen Mack with us, Business Improvement Specialist. Hello, Helen, welcome.
Thank you, Sigrid. It's lovely to be here. I always love having chats with you. I like the fact that we can talk together and share information that changes people's lives.
It is wonderful to have you here. You have a long history in business in a whole variety of areas and angles that you have not only worked in, but had clients in. So you've got a big background and you've created your own Mac method. Share about that, please. I'm very curious to hear more because each time a new nuance comes out, that then triggers me to ask you questions. Go ahead.
Which sounds like a great way to go, Sigrid. Thank you so much. So the Mac method is obviously my name's Helen Mack, and so I've been working on all kinds of things for many years. And then someone said to me, "What does Mac stand for?" And initially I said, "Oh, it's just my name." And then I went, "Oh, what could it stand for?" And so over the last couple of years, I've developed a new concept around MAC, which I'll tell you about in just a minute. But what I was thinking about today, Sigrid, is that I think we in this particular virtual expo that you have wonderfully curated. I think we'll have a number of different people, including we have some authors, we have some people who want to be authors, and we have some people who want to take their authorship from beyond just the book to running a business around that. And I think my Mac method can apply, I know my Mac method can apply for all of those three kind of scenarios or situations. So I thought that perhaps as a value add for the people who are in the room today or are visiting the expo, it may be a useful thing to contemplate how these three steps can work in the world of authorship and the business related to authorship, because as you well know from your deep expertise around trying to get people to take their expertise and turn it into a book over many, many moons, that it's not just about writing a book, because just writing a book and then hoping that someone will buy it is going to keep you very, very poor eating porridge for dinner.
That's a really great imagery there. Thank you, Helen. And that is so true. It is, in some cases, easy enough to write the book, to get to that stage and have it published, do a wonderful launch, feel really great, and then not really take it any further because there was no planning. So share with us on those details because they do apply whether you have a book or you are not there yet.
Yeah, absolutely. So the Mac method is a very simple but powerful trio of elements. The interesting thing, having been listening this morning to some of your other wonderful experts that you have online, is there's this theme, and one of the themes that's been coming through is mindset. And so the M is for mindset. And we have had great ideas on mindset from numerous other experts. For me, the mindset piece is around, the theme of my mindset piece is around optimism. And so I've been becoming a optimism evangelist for decades, because optimism is the mindset, is the achievement mindset. It's the mindset that takes you from thinking, positive thinking, into action, because the word optimism is all about the search for the good. It's actually from the Latin optimus, which is the seeking out the best. And the thing that differentiates optimism is literally the first three letters of the word, opt. So to get the right attitude to the right mindset, if you like, to success, to get your book written, success in launching your book in a way that it makes an impact on the world, and success in running a business that sits under that book, is to opt, to choose your attitude every day. And so it means choosing your attitude means being aware of your attitude. One of our other experts this morning has talked about that. So is your attitude contagious in a good way? Are you the person that lights up the room, or are you the person that evacuates the room? Because when you walk in, everyone goes, "Oh, gee, I'm busy. I've just got to go over here." And I know we've all met people like that, right? Like, we've both had scenarios where you go, "Oh, it's them. Gee, I'm suddenly busy. I need to talk to someone else." Diane Diana talked about, creating shining and creating your light. There are some people who seem like they're like wet blankets when they want to put your light out as soon as they come near you. So the first part of mindset and creating an optimistic mindset is around attitude, attitude awareness of your attitude. The second piece is around activity management, and I'm going to talk about that when we come to the A. And then the third part is about awareness of the direction in which you're traveling. So is your ladder leaning up against the right wall? We've had a couple of people talking about the power of purpose. Ashley talked about creative power and purpose. So if you are clear about where you are going, then not only can you get more done, but you can bring more people along with you. Now, if you're in small business, that's bringing along your clients, perhaps your partners, your strategic partners. As you build a business, it might be bringing along your team. Your mindset is the mechanism by which all of these things can be both A, created and then B, continued. So how do you manage your mindset, Sigrid? How do you keep going?
I use exercise every morning to get that whole energy flowing. So that is the first thing that I work on. I do have another walk throughout the day, again, to clear my mind and get my energy back up. And if I really fall into the ditch, which does happen, I think it happens to all of us, I do turn on some rock and roll type music and I dance the day away. Well, the minutes
At least
away.
you dance the blues away, which
Dance
is
the blues away.
a very
Yeah.
and dance has been proven, like scientifically proven. Don't you love it when science backs what we love to do anyway? Dance has been scientifically proven to switch our brains back on because we're moving our bodies and it balances our brains, and the rhythm of the music switches stuff on in our brain. So those both sound absolutely magical. And I know you and someone else who's in the room also love to hang out in the garden, and so nature is another great way to reset ourselves. I don't have a garden, thank goodness. I have black thumbs. They look human colored now, but they're really black thumbs. And so I have a balcony with no plants on it at all. But I do have parks nearby, and I love getting out in nature and watching the trees and all that sort of stuff. So M is for mindset. And A is for actions or activities. I referenced that just a minute ago.
Mm.
You can't get juice out of an orange by looking at it. So those of you who know me a little bit, and you can see it even today, orange is my signature color, but it's also part of my message. You cannot get juice out of an orange just by looking at it. You have to do something. And so if you want to write that book, finish that book, that unfinished brilliance that's sitting on your computer and has been calling to you, write your book, finish your book, launch your book, set up a business around your book, you have to take action. And so the thing about the action or the activities is that it's about defining the things that really get you the outcomes that you want. I think we do a lot of busyness. I know I heard Diana talk about just being busy, being busy. And people kind of have a competition to see how big a busy badge they can have. My busy badge is bigger than your busy badge. Listen, you'll have heard these conversations, Sigrid. Have you ever listened to someone say, "Oh my God, I'm so busy," and the other person says, "You think you're busy? You should see how busy I am." We don't need to compete about who's busy. If we're just doing busy work, we're not going to get anywhere. We're not going to get an outcome. So it's really important to be clear about what are the activities that I can do regularly that are going to get me to where I want to go. So I believe we have to have two creatures living in our world. The first is a big, fuzzy, hairy one that I call the BHAG. You'll have heard of that before, the big, hairy, audacious goal. And so our big, hairy, audacious goal, if we're an author, might be to publish X number of books, or it might be to turn my book into a workshop or a course. If everything went really, really well, what's the biggest possible wonderful outcome? But then we also need a little fuzzy, small fuzzy creature that I call the SSDT. It's a single, simple, doable thing. That's what's one thing I can do in the next hour, in the next day, that's going to take me one more step towards my big, hairy, audacious goal. So what are the activities that you regularly do, Sigrid, to just keep yourself ticking forward on your journey?
Look, I love hopping around in social media, in LinkedIn in particular, and communicate with others via commenting there on posts is one thing, and going behind the scenes and commenting there. I'm very comfortable right here in my office on my chair in front of the screen. Now, I know lots of people like to go out there and network and be in the room. I have really come to love this here. Therefore, I am communicating in that way. And I really like it because it stimulates so many times talk, new ideas, new directions to follow, which is what you are hinting at here with that whole area of A in the MAC method, the action taking. I take action to get new stimulation in that way.
And so that's two kinds of activities, right? Sigrid, you are connecting and you are gathering ideas. And
Mm.
so one activity is getting you two different outcomes, which is fantastic, which leads me beautifully to the third one. So C is for consistency. And that's one thing you're saying. You do that consistently.
Mm.
There's someone else in the room as well as you and I know that LinkedIn is all about consistency. If you pop onto LinkedIn one day and then you're not there for a month, people think you've died or gone to Mars. They just assume that you're no longer in business. Wouldn't it be good to go to Mars? Anyway, so consistency. So it needs to be consistency in a couple of things. It needs to be consistency in your rituals, your habits, your routines, tapping into some of the things that some of your other experts talked about. And just as an aside, go and visit all of their stalls because there's just so much expertise out there in the expo. But tapping into rituals and routines that help you look after yourself, look after your mind, look after your body, look after your family, your community, all of those elements that needs consistency in that. And then you need consistency of habits of action in your business. A bit like only dropping in on LinkedIn every now and then. If you've got a project going, and you will have had this happen with your authors in the past, Sigrid, where they're, yes, I'm going to write a book. How often are you going to sit down and write? Oh, I'm not sure. I'll
Mm.
see when I can fit it in. It's a bit the same in our business. We get so busy that we forget to do consistently the pieces that are going to give us our outcomes. So, MAC method sounds so simple. If you do all three, it's incredibly powerful. Mindset, activity, consistency. You can write the book, you can get the book launched, you can turn it into a business. So, which of those three is most important for you, Sigrid?
I think the most important one is the consistency, to stay
Mm.
consistent. That's in my thinking. The others are important as well, and definitely the mindset, of course, as well. And you got to take the action, or you're not going to get anywhere. But I like the consistency because that is what the others are built on, in my thinking.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's just such a small, we can do tiny wee little things and get a huge result, which is wonderful, rather than I've got to do this really big thing. Just why don't you just do something little and then another little thing and then another little thing. So if people would like to come to visit my booth, I would love to see them there. What I'm offering is a 30-minute free consult on your business. I don't want to talk about you writing your book. There are other people that are much better at that. But if you have an authorship, if you already have a book or two and you'd like to turn it into a business, I can help with that. So I have the Small Business Ideas Exchange, which is a participant-led group coaching. And so you come to that with your issues, and the group coaching, my expertise plus the other people in the room, adds incredible value. But the first step is to have by Zoom, a 30-minute consult with me. I love talking to people about how I can help them succeed in their businesses. So thank you for the opportunity for the chat, Sigrid.
Wonderful. Thank you for the input and for explaining the MEC method. Not only that, giving us all those tips and hints of how to use and implement actioning in our own business. Thank you, Helen Mack, business improvement specialist, and particularly at this expo about taking authors out there into a business using your book in that way. Or if you are thinking about writing, you're not there yet, still have that session with Helen in order to get your idea flowing and bring it all together before you get started. Thank you, Helen.
Thanks, Sigrid.